I'm only 3 minutes late. Now, if you'd have known what I've just been through, anybody else feeling the strength of Mercury? It's not retrograde, it's gone direct, but it's in post shadow. And oh my Lord, really feeling it today. So my mic wasn't working or anything just now. And I'm hoping you can hear and see me okay. So do let me know in the chat box, please, that you can hear me. I would really appreciate if you can just let me know. Hi, Marie. Can you hear me okay? Because there were sound issues that I was just dealing with my end. So please do let me know in the flipping in and out all the time. Okay, you can hear me great. I don't know why the picture keeps going. Thank you very much for letting me know. Okay, so I'm just going to trust. In fact, let's just take a moment and really take a nice deep breath in and out and really land in the space and ground. It has been really nuts and crazy today. I don't know if anybody else is feeling that. It's like, what? Where's the ground? Okay, so exactly that's what we're doing today. We are finding where the ground is. So we are looking at why you as an intuitive get paralyzed by comparisonitis and overwhelm. Okay, and my name is Tiffany Crosara. I am going to start by taking you through what I do and what I don't do, because there has been some misunderstandings going on around that. So I just want to clarify exactly what I do and what I don't do, and what you will get here today and on my group, in my group and on my page. Hi Julia, hi Sue, nice to see you all here. Okay, so my name is Tiffany Crosara. In a past life, I used to read tarot. I was, and I still am, incredibly passionate about the tarot. I am not incredibly passionate about the way the world sees the tarot, and I get why there's a lot of misunderstanding about what I do, because there is no role in society that sees tarot as transformational. Like, people, when they want to go for a transformation, they'll go to a counselor or a coach. They don't think, okay, I'm going to go and see a tarot. And you know what the word comes after tarot? Reader. Okay. So the reason why the word reader comes after tarot is because there just doesn't seem to be another word for how the universe sees people that work with tarot. So I was pigeonholed as a tarot reader because I didn't know how to be anything else. I fell into the career in the London circle, on the TV and everything along those lines. And it was my dream career, and it is my dream career. It's just the way it's done out there in the world was not my dream career, and it felt the dream way, shall I say, and it felt very misaligned. It rubbed up against everything I stood for. So I had to come away from that and start to stand for what I want to see the change in the world to be, okay, which is around when you understand how to use tarot transformationally, your relationship to yourself, your relationship to other people, and your relationship to the universe unlocks. And there's a few people here. Hey, Fonzie. Hey, Sue. From my Transformational Truth of Tarot course, which is the main thing. Like, when you're few okay, I'm back. Sorry about the blips in the makeup that we seem to be having today. I'm breathing deep, I'm holding the ground. Let's all take another deep breath in and out. And really release the overwhelm that is going on. This session is about dealing with the overwhelm. Okay, so I'm going to take you through 3 things very quickly, very simply, to clear you of the overwhelm that you may well be feeling. Okay, I'm also going to show you one little thing you can do with tarot, which is transformative rather than predictive. So I work with intuitives that have lost the connection to themselves because they've been tuning into everything outside of themselves. That's other people's needs over their own. And it's also shown in the tarot of like wanting it to know what is going on outside of you, rather than using it as a reflective tool. So we will do one very quick transformative tarot tip, which I can give you here, which will actually plug you right back in and quickly. Okay, so today's going to be a bit of an interactive class, and I'm going to take you through, number 1, how to come out of comparison. So I'd like to know what triggers your comparison. Where are you comparing? And, you know, what is it that triggers that for you? I'd like to know that, if you can put that in the comments. I'm also going to help you see how to get back in tune with you, okay? Because comparisonitis is what I call outuition. Yes, it's tuning out of you. It's not tuning in to you, right? And so let me just give you a little, hey, Sylvie, good to see you here. Let me just give you a little, I'm just going to share screen for a second so you can see what I mean about outuition and intuition. Okay, so here, this is what I have come to realize about intuitives. These are the main symptoms that people experience as intuitives that are using their intuition as outuition, tuning into other people instead of themselves. And this live series I'm doing is I'm taking one of these a day and helping you to kind of explore an aspect of it. So today we're on, it's over trying, overdoing, and overwhelm. Okay, so I'm going to help you tune back into you, because if you are in comparisonitis or overwhelm, you are using your outuition, you are not using your intuition, and it's about how to flip that switch and come back to who you are. Yeah. Okay, so Fonzie is saying that she feels that she often has outdated skills and that is not good enough. Okay, all right. So outdated skills for what? It sounds like you're going through a little bit of a perfectionitis thing. So we will look at that as well, perfectionitis. And we're going to also look at coming out of overwhelm and into progress. And I'm also going to do this tarot exercise with you. So let's just start with comparisonitis, and then we'll go into overwhelm, and then we'll go into progress. Okay, so comparisonitis is something I suffer from rarely. And the reason that I suffer from it rarely is because I realized very early on that when I look outside of myself for my message, that it doesn't work. So It took me a long time to realize that I was tuning into other people and picking up their emotional stuff, and that's still a practice. Yes, but in terms of looking outside of myself for my message, I was very instantly blocked by that and realized I couldn't do it. I'll give you a little story about when I was first asked to speak at a conference. It was the UK Tarot Conference in 2012. And maybe this will help you too, Fonzie, in terms of what you're saying about often feel like you have outdated skills and that it's not good enough. Now, I know that your profession is way different to mine and the UK Tarot Conference. So take what you can, and some bits may not be relevant, but hopefully I'll be able to help you the more you interact today anyway. Okay, so back to 2012 Tarot Conference, UK Tarot Conference, and I'm up there. It's my first speaking gig. I'm going to have a bit of tea, excuse me, but it's just one of those days where I feel like chilling and hanging out with you, and let's just take it nice and naturally. So I will have tea when I want to have tea. I hope you are too. Right. 2012, first speaking gig, UK Tarot Conference. The headliners are Mary K. Greer wasn't there, but I have since spoken with Mary K. Greer, the grand godmother of tarot. There's another grand godmother of tarot, and that's Rachel Pollock, and she was one of the headliners. Okay, now I remember being in such a state for months leading up to that and what to talk about, and I was looking in books, I was looking in tarot books, and the more I looked in tarot books to perform my talk, the more blocked and blocked and blocked, and the more overwhelmed and overwhelmed and overwhelmed, and the more I compared, and the more I didn't feel good enough. And I could just, it was such a locked door that I knew there was only one way forward, and that was to drop looking at the books and go into what wanted to come through. Now you're going to laugh at what wanted to come through. And I cried at the end of this. I really did just shut myself in a room, totally embarrassed, and cry. But there is another part to this story. So what came through was the need to dress up as a jester, as the fool, and kind of do this dance exercise to get people up out of their chairs. And you know, some people were up for it and some people really weren't up for it. And I remember being underneath the table and Rachel Pollock saying to me, "What are you doing down there?" in the most beautiful way. She's absolutely gorgeous, you know, and I really loved her. She was just like this caring grandma that found it quite entertaining. So after that, I was like, oh no, the whole room didn't get it. And so, you know, I'm done for. I made an absolute literal fool out of myself, right? And what actually happened was that I went back again years later. I spoke again, not at that tarot conference, but at one in Montreal with Mary and with Rachel. And everyone remembered me because of that moment. Yeah, it's like they saw me, and they also saw how much I had developed in myself and grown in myself and my trajectory. And I was speaking just before Rachel, and bless her, afterwards she got up and said, and yeah, sorry, there was a blip again, I think. So I was just saying there's something here about judgment of oneself that is the biggest block, okay? And if we can just go into that place of divine connection, because when you're an intuitive, you will feel like a fool quite often. And the challenge is to actually allow yourself to embody the Fool. Like the Fool in the tarot is the one that is the most connected to the divine. It's not the High Priestess, it's not the Hermit, it's the one that is the pure channel. He is not conditioned by anything, he's not learned anything, so he can move, he can be whatever he wants. That's why he's gone through into the playing cards as the jester. He's the only major arcana from the tarot that's found in the playing cards, and he's the one that can go wherever he wants, take on whatever he wants, be whoever he wants, because he is that free. And that is the journey of the tarot. When you really connect with it in a transformational way, it's about becoming that powerful archetype of the Fool. It's the Fool's journey, quite literally. And it's about that powerful connection to the divine and who you are. And this is what I do with people. Okay. So whenever you find yourself going into comparisonitis, and Facebook is really great for that, isn't it? And I will come through to your, I'll come through to your comments after I've done this one part first on comparison. I'll check in with you and then we'll go on to the second one. But let's just take Facebook for an example. You're not feeling great in yourself, and you might be scrolling through at night, looking in groups or at what other people are doing. And it's like, oh my God, you know, they've got this picture perfect life and I just feel totally crap. Now that can happen to me. So I'll tell you what I do. That can happen to me rarely. Number one, because I make sure I'm so busy minding my own business. I'm not competitive. I don't feel like I have to be. I don't feel like there's another person out there like me. So, you know, I'm not competitive on that level. And this also happens when you have connected really powerfully with who you are and what your message is. And so I mind my own business. I'm going to give you one more quick story. And I had a business in London in 2006. It was like a hippy dippy shop, 2003 to 2006. There was a health food shop 2 doors down, and they saw us as competition. So they got into competition, but they got into competition with themselves, because I wasn't really going into a price bartering war or anything like that. And it was very interesting to observe. And they started to attract karma to themselves. Like we had a chill out basement where people could come and have a cup of green tea and read a book. And they tried to do the same, and their basement flooded. They tried to set up holistic services, and there was problem after problem. And it got to the point where a bus went through their window. Now, I was blamed as, you know, someone doing witchcraft against them. And it was just so fascinating to see, because it was just a total play out of their vibration and the karma and the cause and reaction of comparison, of not feeling like you are your beautiful, God-given, gorgeous self who absolutely beat the odds. I think it's a crazy odds of something like 400,000 to one chance. Billion, no, I left the billion or the trillion off the end, to one chance of being born. Yes. And so that is the consequence of, you know, beating the odds and then going, I don't feel like I can stand strong enough in myself. And if you look at the inspirational stories out there, let's take anybody seen, oh gosh, what's the film Hacksaw Ridge? Who here has seen Hacksaw Ridge? If you've seen Hacksaw Ridge, put HSR HSR in the comments, because you'll totally get me. And if you don't get me, then you have to see Hacksaw Ridge. It's of someone just like Gandhi and all the other people that stood up to be themselves in the world, even though they may well have appeared to be the fool, and the power of doing that. So this is what I stand for with you. I stand for helping you get into that zone of power. And obviously there's only so much I can give you on a Facebook Live, so I'm just going to give you one tip for the comparisonitis, and then we're going to move on. So let's go back to, I'm in Facebook, I'm not feeling that great, I'm scrolling through, I'm starting to compare, I feel it again. That lockdown of what I spoke about when I was looking outside of me and researching tarot because I didn't know enough to speak with these grand masters, and I was going to make a fool of myself. I have the same thing. It's like a lockdown, and I'm going, oh, this actually makes me feel 100 times worse, and so I know to stop. So it's very rarely that I will go into comparisonitis. Yes, I will just continue minding my own business and working on who I am and my own unique message. So whenever you find yourself doing something like that, that's what I want you to do. I want you to just stop. It's a decision. It's like, oh, they're doing their thing. That's their business. My business is my thing. So I am going to stop doing that right now and come back to who I am. Okay, so let me know how you get on with that. I'm just going to pop into the comments, and then we'll go into how to start clearing the overwhelm with your path and go into progress. Okay, and then we'll go into the tarot feelie. Okay, so so Anne is saying that she's definitely gets comparisonitis. We all have different businesses. She's on a business group, and I always see others as achieving more, getting more clients, growing their business, and I feel like I am going at snail's pace. So that is exactly what I'm talking about. And it's an honoring of your path. There's the wheel of fortune in the tarot. Sometimes you're going to be up, sometimes you're going to be down. Okay, and it's like, as long as you can honor where you are, it will change, it will move. But if you don't, it will get stuck. So hopefully that's another visual that can help you when you feel like that. And Julia is saying she always needs to feels she needs to know more than she does. Yes, so maybe my shares here about that will help. Yeah, so Sue says, I don't compare to others, but I go into a spiral if someone criticizes me, especially if I feel that it's unfair. Yes, so that is slightly different, and you can do things there around actually asking them, saying like, when this happened, the story I told myself was, yes, just because you feel criticized, so you've said it here as well, you've it doesn't mean that you were. Yeah, so it's about using that communication skill. You know what I mean, because you've done the outuition course with me and you've got the 3 drama diffusing questions. So that's where you want to be going to, is that play sheet. And for those of you that don't know that, you will have access to that workbook coming soon. It's not quite ready yet. Yes. Okay. La 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 la. All right. So Tuesday says it's much easier to say than it is to do. It's a decision. So all you need is 10 seconds of courage just to go, actually, number 1, I don't deserve to do this to myself. And number 2, I can just flick the switch. You don't even need 10 seconds of courage for this. It's just that, and then stop. Yes. So that's how easy it actually can be and actually is. When it's not easy, it's because you're telling yourself that it's not easy. So what if it is? What if it is that easy? Then what? What's possible from there? Okay, so number 2, clarify where you want to go, because I get what Tuesday's seeing about stopping something. Like if you say you want to stop smoking, then you'll get stuck there if you've got nothing to replace it with. So you want to be looking at what is your business. This is what I was saying, you know, I come back to what my business is. So what if you don't know what your business is? And this is where the real work comes into knowing who you are. This is why things like doing value work, journaling, knowing what you stand for, you know, getting really clear on what your values and who you stand for and what your message is, and clearing anything around needing to fit in with other people, or not upset others, or to people please, or be liked, because you are going to be unique. You have a unique message, and that is what to honor. So it's very much about clarifying that and where you want to go. So if you can get a plan for what you want to achieve in the year, you can then say, okay, whatever I do, whatever tasks I do, have to support that. So then you can easily see what supports that and what is the best use of your time and what doesn't. So it becomes your guiding star to who you are becoming. And okay, values are about who you are, but really you want to be looking at who you are becoming and where you want to be, like this time next year, for example. And then you can go, okay, this behavior fits with that behavior doesn't. And you can replace that comparisonitis with a behavior that's going to take you to who you are becoming, your north guiding star, your goal that you've set for you for the year, or maybe the month, whatever time frame feels supportive for you. So come out of overwhelm and into progress. I am going to go into that in a minute. I'm seeing Tuesday is saying changing behavior and brain patterns takes time to rewire. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know. I have no facts on that. I can only speak from my experience. And I know that the more that, and yes, it's taken absolute huge amounts of time to get to this place in myself. In some ways it's a natural, some things are natural and some things take more work. But I do know that it is instant in terms of the self-esteem switch. I absolutely 110% know that that is true in terms of you are either coming from self-esteem or you are not coming from self-esteem. There is no spectrum in that. It's not that you need to go through therapy for years to get to a place where you can come from a place of self-esteem. You are either coming from it or you're not. So you can just say, you know, what would self-worth do? That's the one question. Would self-worth be comparison? No, it wouldn't. Absolutely not. So it may be that you need some visual prompts to help that rewiring over time, but the actual thing is one decision. Yes, it's absolutely one decision. Okay, so now, and that's an instant. So visual reminders to help you keep making that decision. Yes, yes. And that is something that can be of use whilst we're drumming it into ourselves. It's almost like you have to immerse yourself in it and you have to keep immersing yourself in it. Yes, it's not like you're going to make the decision once and then it'll be sorted in that sense. In the moment, yes, it can be easily changed in that split second, and then it's a practice. So come out of overwhelm and into progress. Okay, so to come out of overwhelm, we've kind of touched on that a little bit with this guiding star, yes, of who you want to be in a month or a year, and how to get into progress with that is interesting because you want to make sure that that goal is achievable. SMART, they call it: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timed. Yes, that's a SMART goal. You want to make sure that it's that, so you don't have overwhelm, number one. And I've been overwhelmed lately. I will share that with you, with some of the restructuring I'm doing with the business. And I kept feeling like I needed a day, a weekend, a week out just to actually get on with it. And that day, weekend, week out was never actually happening. And so I realized that actually what I needed to do was just commit to doing even 5 minutes on it a day. And now it's moving. So that's the other thing. Be happy with 1% progress a day rather than 100% perfection. So to summarize those three things, okay, and then we're going to go into doing a tarot feely situation, okay? So that will help you. That's a quick, instant, transformative tarot tip that I can give you that will help you to tune into yourself. And that's how we're going to end today. So you're going to end today tuned into yourself, back into yourself. Absolutely. Okay, so Susan is saying overwhelm is best avoided. Yes. And so we do that by using the SMART goal, and we do that by making 1% progress a day. Does that help? I hope you've got that clear on how to avoid overwhelm. There's also the zones in coaching, isn't there? If you don't know about them, you have your comfort zone where nothing grows, and then you have the panic zone, which is like the overwhelm zone, and we want to be in the stretch zone, which is why SMART goals and committing to even 5 minutes a day to work on that thing that is your guiding star to go forward will break that down. Okay, so Tuesday is saying, is there a follow-up course to the Intuition course to help going forward after the course, some sort of structure or summary? You will have been emailed by my PA, Juliet, yesterday or today with the login access. So that will be like a refresher for you. It's all there, your workbook, your videos, you have lifetime access to it. So it's all there for you to access. And like anything, it's a case of going back through and, as we were just talking about, immersing yourself, re-immersing yourself. Okay. So yes, clarifying. To come out of comparison, bring your attention back to you. And you can do that by going, what would self-worth do? Self-worth would come out of that now. Okay, then next, who am I becoming? Where is my business? I need to mind my own business, not other people's business. Yes, number 2. And then number 3, commit to doing that, even if it's just 5 minutes a day, rather than waiting for the big chunk of time that will never actually be there. And that will take down, it will just stop it in its tracks, comparisonitis and overwhelm. That is your 3-step process to do that. Sylvia is saying, my overwhelm saying, how do you eat an elephant? Answer, 1 bite at a time. Absolutely. There you go. Lovely saying. And it's beautiful to have that quote just before we go into a lovely meditative place. Yes. So if you would like to join me with this, it doesn't matter if you don't have tarot, but if you have tarot, you might want to join me with this. We're going to hold space for all of us to ascend, okay, to draw the line from the person that doesn't feel worthy enough and therefore has to compare or fight or defend or explain or judge, or though all of those come from a place where your self-esteem is switched off. So right now we're just going to switch it on, and we're going to come from that place of deciding that you are absolutely worthy of being totally you, the way that you are. Okay. And those of you that know tarot feely know what I'm doing, but I'll just take you through it in case you have tarot and are wondering what I'm doing, or you want to tune into mine. If you don't have tarot, you can do that, or you can just tune into the meditation we are about to do. But if you have tarot, you take a card and you place it between your hands and you breathe deeply in and out. Okay, you have to not know what the card is between the hands. Okay, and it's not about getting the card. That is outuition. Again, tuning out. I need to know. It's like it then becomes about judgment, comparisonitis. I've got to be good enough to get the card, and that's absolutely the opposite of what we're doing here. What we're doing here is tuning in. It's not about the card, so let that go and just meet the card. And those of you that don't have tarot, you can close your eyes and tune into mine if you want, or just listen and go into the meditative space for you. Breathe in and out and just release any tension. Breathe it in and out. And so what you're doing is you're relaxing, you're softening and you're opening, trusting all is well, knowing you are held. And you're breathing the beautiful energy of the card up through your hands, up through your arms, into your heart. And as you're breathing it out, you're letting it resonate out through the whole of you. It's just you and the card in this beautiful symbiotic blending and merging, becoming one with your breath as you breathe in and out. So you tune into how you feel, how it makes you feel mentally, emotionally, and physically. Is there any changes? And any visions that you see, colors or objects. And then you ask for a message. You send your thoughts up to the universe and you ask if there's a message in this card for me today. What is it? And when you have that message, you've completed the tarot feeling. So if you want to share with me what you got, you can do that. You can put it in the chat box. You can put in the comments your message and the card. If you just put the card, I can't really do anything. It's about your message most of all. Okay, so are you ready? I'm going to tell you what I got. I felt so much taller, so it was really physical for me, and it was like I was a big stone Buddha, and I got the need to be like a rock, to be immovable, to be really powerful and strong in my truth. And I believe that I'm tuning this message for all of us here, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching on the replay. I trust that you see this and hear this at exactly the right time for you. So this is a message for all of us. I got this need to be really strong, really grounded, immovable, and really peaceful in that place of strength with who I am. It's exactly as we've been talking about here now on this live. it was like my presence, my back, my posture, everything was really aligned, and it was big. I was like this big, solid Buddha rock. It's the only way I can say it. And the peace that resonated from that place was totally profound. It didn't matter what anybody else was saying. It didn't matter what anybody else was doing. It didn't matter if someone was spitting at me. It didn't matter if someone was graffitiing me. It didn't matter, because I was in this place of connection and oneness that couldn't be threatened. It was really profound. And I got the words love and grace as well. So I'm sending so much love and so much grace out as well to you all. Grace to me means being able to not come up against obstacles, but know how to flow around them. It's about having the faith that something is there, even when we don't understand. If it's an obstacle, it's there for a reason. When we don't understand our path, it's a knowing that it's there for a reason, and it's giving it that respect, not coming up against it and not backing away from it, but looking again for your way forward. Yeah? Okay, so let's see what the message was. I thought it might be the High Priest, okay? And, you might get a tarot card come in when you do this. And if you do, that's fine. But it's like, again, don't come up against it. Don't make it the thing. It's not about that. It's like, it's there and we move around it to find the message. It's all about the message. That's the most important part. So I thought it would be the High Priest, because when I've connected with the High Priest, it is that essence of that rock solid Buddha like divinity. It's the Queen of Wands, which is interesting because that's what I am, being a Leo. Yes. So it's like, you can see that she is very strong in her ability to actually be unapologetically who she is. So there you go. There's a bit about what I do and how I do it, and how you can come out of comparison, get clear on what your business is, and make progress with it. It all comes down to a decision, really, and that is, what would self-worth do? Okay, and every time you find yourself doing a task, you can think, does this take me towards who I am becoming or away from who I'm becoming? I hope that that is useful, and I will be live with you. We've got some comments, so I'm just going to look through there. Anne is saying, got a funny buzzing in my ears, which was strange. A small bird shape, no message, 6 of Swords. So 6 of Swords is very much about moving forward, and is air. So birds, it's like the god of air. So it's quite a peaceful card. So it sounds like that is your message, in a sense. It's like there is this gentle, gorgeous progression, even though you've been feeling like there isn't, is what was said earlier. Okay. Welcome, Fonzie. Thank you too. Julia says, I saw a horse, then what looked like a person moving sideways, carefully on a ledge. Color yellow. Message was to take things a step at a time. Card was the Knight of Swords. It sounds like you've got the antidote to the card there, because the Knight of Swords doesn't take things a step at a time. He rushes in where angels fear to tread. And that's exactly what happens with the tarot feeling. It gives us the absolute antidote, which is the higher self message. Whereas when we read it, because we've looked at something outside of ourselves, we can judge it and think, oh, actually, I need the courage of my convictions and and it can exasperate things. So thank you for sharing that, because it gives me an example to kind of play with as well. And I hope that that was useful for you. And do let me know if you have any questions. So Fonzie says, I saw a cherry like from an Amarillo cherry ice cream. I bite into it and it's delicious. The message was enjoy it. I got the Queen of Cups card. It's almost like she sat there with an ice cream. For those of you that know the Queen of Cups, you can totally see that. So how lovely. Tracy says, I felt strangely emotionless and had a popping in my right ear plus a sharp pin-like pain above my right eyebrow. I had an image of a crone bent over walking slowly with a cane, and the message was, whilst you feel down, there is much to see on the ground. How beautiful. So a different perspective. She was dressed in vibrant red and the card was the 8 of Swords. Interesting, because the 8 of Swords is very much about feeling that way and gaining that strength, that red, that passion to go forward. And actually, you know, the state that she is in at this moment is exactly where it's at to do that. So fantastic. Sylvie got nebulous, finding my way through the fog. Osho was silence, and then the Rider Waite, it's the star. Wow, very nebulous. And the message, just listen. How beautiful is that? Wonderful. Julia says, thank you. Awesome. Thank you to all of you here for holding the space for each other and for attending live, and for those of you on the replay that have also watched all the way through. I hope it has helped you. Come forward, be strong with who you are, cut the crap, and get into action rather than procrastination and comparisonitis. I will be live with you on Friday with the next symptom that we will be addressing. I'll just share screen. Share screen. Share screen, not knowing or mixing up your needs and wants, number 6. Okay, so we're on the 6th of the series, and we're going to be doing exactly why, as an intuitive, you struggle more than most with knowing your needs and wants, and what to do about that so that you don't have the emotional blow-ups that happen when you're not connected into your needs and your wants. Those of you that have watched this and gone, oh my God, I've got like some real clarity about where I'm at with, in particular, these. Let me give you, I'm going to put it up again. These. Oh God, Mercury. I'm going to blame him. Oh dear, poor old Mercury gets such a bad rap. I'm trying to share something. Anyway, the 10 symptoms of outuition. If you are resonating with them, then yeah, we're getting there. Okay, let me just pop them up for you again. She says we're getting there, but I'm just tripping you out by the looks of things. The 10 symptoms of intuition, using your intuition as outuition. If you're resonating with them, then yeah, now they're taking ages to load. Here we go. If you're resonating with these, over emotional misunderstandings, feeling everything personally, struggle to know your own reality, making assumptions that cause drama, it's overwhelm, overtrying, overdoing, not knowing or mixing up your needs and wants, and you can't express yourself until it's too late, and then you bounce from no boundaries to big barriers and feel like you don't belong anywhere and struggle to obtain healthy self-esteem, and you want that to change in your life, you can apply to come through to me for a free, non-obligatory one-to-one where I will take you through each of these symptoms, and we will get very clear on where you're at with them on a scale of 1 to 10 and what you can do to move forward from there. So you'll have like a 3-step strategy plan tailor-made to you, your circumstances. And although I talk a lot on these lives because I kind of have to, I don't talk so much at all on those sessions. It's very much about holding space to hear where you are at with this particular situation for you, and I will ask you a few questions to decipher where you are on this scale, and we will get incredibly clear on the parts that are most paramount for you, that you need to work on the most, the top 3, and how you can do something in an instant and in what you can do in the long term to actually start to turn this around for you. Okay, it's great, isn't it? I love my job. The ability to just say, hey, come and let's just have space. I will listen to you is one of the best gifts that you can give someone. So the link for that is in the post, and do have a look for it. But I think I will get it up also here on the banner. Banners. Here we go. So you can apply for it at https. I don't think you need to put that in. I think you can just put tiffanycrosara.com/fire-up-your intuition. Okay, take care for now, and thanks for an amazing live and all your contributions that made it so